Internet! Welcome to 2.5 Brains. This is our post-mortem of Survivor Season 40 here on Paper Road Productions, talking about the season that was and what's next, breaking it all down the finale, and having some discussions about it as well. Be sure to subscribe so you get all the updates. We have our Masked Singer finale coming up very, very soon, so miss that also. And obviously this is a little bit delayed. And then the normal show would be just because it's a long episode. We have a lot to unpack and you have the time to watch it and record it and everything else. So it's gonna be a little different than normal because we don't usually do a lot of stuff about who's gonna return for another season and so on and so forth. But this is all winners and that. So it's this was a lot of swan songs, a lot of people's last hurrah, if you will. So we'll talk about that, what's coming up next, and things like that. So make sure you subscribe. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/paperproductions. Email the show directly. Email at paperproductions@gmail.com. And like I said, subscribe, comment, and share the post. You can also tweet me directly at YoGrabAGabba. Let me know what you think. And have some discussions here with you guys as well. So let us know all what you're thinking. Before we go any further, let's go ahead and bring the co-host of the show, who's here every week. And she can give us her thoughts as well. She got to move Mr. Bailey out of the way so she can get him. Okay. Hello. Welcome.
Thank you.
How do people find you on Twitter?
Just T820.
Just T820. Excellent. So, usually we talk about kind of the season as a whole, kind of where it ranks, kind of how the winner did, how good a winner the winner is, maybe what's coming up next, who we think will return to play again. I mean, other than anything like that, really not a whole lot to go over with that right now. Just kind of go a little bit off the beaten path a little bit. Obviously, I think if Boston Rob wants to come back in, they'll put him on every season going forward.
I think everybody's pretty much done that was on this season.
Yeah. I am pretty much done with everyone this season as well. But I would like to see. This was a season that was at least everyone on the same level. They've all played. I would like to see a second chances too, where people who played once and didn't win come back.
Like went to the end and didn't win.
Or just played once, had a big impact on the season, didn't win.
Yeah.
Like Devins, like Wendell,
yeah.
or like Dom. I mean.
Yeah.
Like whoever.
Yeah.
They played once, didn't win. Christian, absolutely. Even Gabby. Maybe like a Mike White, or like a Lauren from 39, right? Or and a Lauren from 35, A War Dog, sure, War Dingo.
Just kidding.
And the Lauren from that season, all the Laurens, bring them all back. Have a season Laurens versus Laurens versus Chris's. Yeah, Chrissy and Christian.
Chrissy, that was from Ben's season, right?
Yeah, Chrissy would be great to come back again. Yeah, absolutely. Brian from that season. Devin, maybe, I don't know. It'd be fun to see some. Yeah, exactly. It'd be fun to see some of them come back. So that would be, see again, or a third time's the charm, where it's people who played twice and never won.
Yeah.
It's a third time. Or one that'd be really great would be Survivor Last Chances. This is the last time you're playing, so you better win. And
you're never allowed back.
Right, and it's like they go out and they just have to do something crazy because there's the last chance to shine. I don't know, it'd be fun. But either way, I think this season, we'll talk about a little more detail here, but let's go ahead. We're going to kind of do 4 segments. We're going to talk about predictions, what we predicted well, what we didn't do so well. We're talking about, I guess, the recap of the finale, kind of broad strokes of the finale, kind of what we took away. I'm sure by this point you've seen it. It's been a week, and then a little more than a week. And then 3, what we learned from the season, what the season taught us, what we kind of think how the game maybe evolved a little bit. This is the 40th season, so if you're the Rob and Josh book Evolution Strategy, this is volume 4. This is the game has changed so much since season 1, right? And kind of what we've learned and kind of what this season taught us.
Friendship.
Nope, I'm not a Survivor. And then exactly, and 4 would be kind of what's next for the show, for Survivor, for us.
Ben.
Yeah, soon. Haircuts, hopefully, in the near future. Good Lord.
Mullet.
No, no man bun either.
Mohawk.
Nope. Nope. Maybe bald.
No.
Yeah, I don't have
I've
that.
got way too much hair to be bald.
Yeah, good. So, let's go ahead though and talk about the predictions. So, what did we get right? What did we get wrong this season, Jessica?
Natalie was coming back.
Got that right. Nailed it. Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
And she went to the finals.
I knew that was going to happen.
For sure. That was excellent. What else? What else did you think going this season?
What else did I predict?
Yeah.
Not the winner.
No. We really didn't do an actual winner pick this season, though, really. I mean, we just kind of just did a team.
No, I know. I didn't think that person was going to win, though.
Yeah.
Didn't think Tony was going to be the winner.
Yeah.
Wouldn't have predicted, I guess, Ben to get that far to the end.
Yeah. Anything else that jumps out at you?
I mean, you wouldn't have predicted the person that comes back from Extinction is going to make it to the finals again.
No, I mean they had some momentum. Obviously, the person it really depended on who. It really depended on who came back. I mean, obviously, the person who came back could win a challenge. They could find an idol. They had an idol. So they were set up pretty well. She really wasn't vulnerable the entire time. I mean, obviously, she had another. She came back, found another idol, won a challenge.
Yep.
So that was huge.
So if she would have, I guess, went up toe to toe with Tony at the fire challenge, probably would have won. Exactly. Toe to toe with Tony.
Toe to toe with Tony.
Exactly.
Yeah. Or needed toe to Tony. Tony. Yeah, I don't know. One thing I will say too, we had for the second time ever a 0-0-0 vote at the final 6. Was it final 6? Yeah, final 6. When it was, they played both people who had votes against them played idols, and there was no votes eligible for anybody because it was everybody played their idols at the final 6. So the only ones eligible to be voted for were Sarah and Denise.
Yeah.
Which was neat. That was something that ever happened. It was almost the advantage get-in of season 34, except the 2 people that have votes or didn't have idols except for that season. There was only 1.
What if everybody had an idol and played it?
Survivor would be broken. Not that it's not already kind of broken.
It's impossible. Could that even happen?
I mean, I think the producers wouldn't put enough advantage in the game to let that happen. I think they can monitor how many are in the game.
Oh yeah, they don't add them back in until some of them are played.
Right.
So happen.
But
Interessante.
It could be one of those things where something happens where something weird happens now. That's why they say you can play the final 5, whatever. They kind of monitor that. But I mean, the rate they're going, everybody's gonna start with 2 idols every season at this point. Survivor. I mean, they had Survivor Island of the Idols. They're going to give everybody 2 idols starting next season, and everybody has
No.
And nobody's voted out the first 2 weeks, so they'll have idols.
They're going to probably keep the fire tokens.
Yeah.
That's what's going to happen.
That was neat. That was okay. A little bit of currency and whatnot. So, prediction-wise, congratulations, be back. We won again. Screw you.
No more, I'm done.
Yeah, it was I wouldn't have predicted Tony to win just because Tony is so out there. Yeah, he's so out there. I mean, it's hard to really see him doing it, but he pulled it off. He did a great job, and obviously the prediction. I figured it'd be. I figured I had. The Kims, the Denises, the Sarahs, the ones who would probably have a good shot to get to the end. That was that's what I went for. Tyson having a shot to get back in the game, which he did once. So I felt good about my predictions. Obviously, they were not completely there. It was very similar last year as this year. Last year, you had everybody going to the merge, and then they all got windowed down, and you had literally nobody at the finals. I was you this year. I had everybody and nobody at the finals, and then I had one person left at the end, and you had one person left at the end this year. D-Back had 2 left. He did the same thing that he did this time as he did last season, and you and I switched roles. So I was the loser. You were the loser.
I had 2 that go until the final 6.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been in Natalie.
Right. One when they're way back in the
Yeah.
It was we all 3 of us had 2 go in the final 6, so it was interesting. But So it was what do you think? I mean. So I just want to kind of comment on a couple things that we heard. I heard through the grapevine and just on the Facebook page of Survivor and all the casual stuff that they talk about. two things. What about Tony as a winner?
I mean, he definitely earned it.
For sure.
He did a lot, you know, he had his spy nest and all that stuff and really played people and everybody just kind of fell into it. Swung a lot of votes, controlled a lot of votes, so I mean it's not that he didn't deserve to win.
He was
a good winner.
He was the best player out this season.
Yeah. I would have rather Jeremy win if it was gonna be B-backs anyways.
Sure.
But he wasn't gonna make it to the end.
No. I think the best player on the season. As much as I hate to admit it because he wasn't on my team.
Mm-hmm.
The best player won. He played the best game by far. Not close. Sarah was his right-hand person. If she could have got him out in fire, she had a really good shot.
Yeah.
A really good shot.
Yeah.
And then I've been between her and Natalie for the votes.
Yeah.
But yeah, I mean Tony played a great game, no doubt about it. Definitely deserved the win, and hats off to him. He's a very, very great player. I mean, he's one of the all-time greats. If you want to put together Mount Rushmore of Survivor players, he's definitely on it. No doubt about it.
That's the only caveat, I guess, with the guy winning this year is Sandra Slick is the queen and he's the king. So I guess it's kind of better in a sense that a woman didn't win, even though women are never going to win. Never winning again.
I mean, I wouldn't doubt that. We'll talk about that in a little bit, but yeah. So Tony did a great job, pulled it off, got the win, and I'm very happy for him. I mean, he's one of the all-time greats, and it's one of those things where I would have been happy to see Sarah win. I would have been happy to see Denise win for my team, and like that. But if you want to say who, if this is a season where it's a culmination of 40 seasons of Survivor, Tony might be the ultimate winner for that season. Just if you look at the track record of Survivor, from old school to new school to whatever, and kind of how it's progressed. Tony Vlachos, the Greek god, is one of the reasons the Survivor is where it is. Mm-hmm. He was top 3 best ever new player seasons in Survivor history. He won that season, his first season, and the thing that did it for me, and granted, he every season he has to have that uber social player to keep him in the game. Mm-hmm. Right? His first season he had Trish. Trish got to the final 5 with him. They caught her at the final 5, but she saved him on multiple occasions because they're like, we can't do it with Tony anymore, He goes, oh, trust me, Tony's fine. I got him, he's good. And she was able to smooth things over for him. This season he had that in Sarah. Mm-hmm.
That was a problem, though.
For sure. And one thing I would like to see is more people step up and take that shot at Tony, at Sarah earlier. Mm-hmm. I said, if we have to lose Tony and Sarah back to back, so be it. Because that way at least, they're taking shots. I think it was maybe Jordan Kalish tweeted that the great Survivor historian, Jordan Kalish, tweeted, do these people realize that Sarah and Tony are not immune? Right. Nobody took shots at them. Tony didn't go cast against them the entire season.
Yep.
Ridiculous.
Even though they talked about it.
Even though they talked about getting rid of him multiple times, they just could never get the votes against him, and to his credit, I mean for sure. So it was a great season. He did have Sarah to kind of be his social shield, towards the kind of smooth things over when he went crazy.
Right.
So he
happens a lot.
Right, and so he had Trish last time. This time he had Sarah, and the thing that sold for me though was when he beat Sarah in fire, and he was bawling.
Yeah. That was
like Tony is human.
Yeah.
He's not actually a robot.
Right.
And I felt that. Mm-hmm. I felt that he cares about this other person a lot.
Yeah.
And
that was the difference with this season as a whole,
for sure.
Because most people did care about each other a lot. I mean, Ben too, for sure. Ben telling Sarah to vote him out and crying and saying, she deserves to win and go get Tony, and if he were to go out, he wants it to be her play.
Yep.
It was a lot of self-sacrifice.
Yeah, it was really emotional. Few votes, and it was really a powerful season. Mm-hmm. So actually, leads me perfectly in the next thing that Kedge will talk about. I heard a lot of greatest season ever. What do you think?
I mean, from what I've watched, I can say I enjoyed it a lot. That was pretty good. It'd be easier to watch if you didn't have teams that have to root against people, but it was good. I like it.
It had a little stakes. Maybe we'll revisit it next time. Kind of how we want to do it, but it was cool having a bit of, a little extra rooting interest. As opposed to just random people. Maybe we won't do it with a returning player season next time. Just do it with only a new player or something because we have as much invested in them, I guess.
I mean, I don't because I didn't know anybody.
Yeah, well, a couple, but still.
A couple. For me, I want to be able to root for everybody. I don't know if you don't know people going into it, and then you pick people, and then you see who they actually are. Then you're like, why? You don't want to root for this person. I'd rather root for somebody on your team.
Yeah.
I can't do that because I want to lose. I want to win.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, it's something kind of tweak over the break. Yeah. See how and what we want to do next time.
Got a long break.
We do. But the great season ever was someone out there. It's hard to say. It really is hard to say.
So you watch every single season? I watched how many?
You watched about
6.
6.
And it was great. The people all knew each other, so they could all relate. They all got along. I mean, obviously, some things get under my skin. Some people will always in seasons, but
certain archetypes you don't really like.
Correct.
But I mean, so it was hard to say. I mean, I always put the new returning player seasons on a different category, than the new player seasons. Yeah. Because new player seasons, it's some of them are better than the returning player seasons. Mm-hmm. But I just like that new player seasons. Some of them are really well cast. Some of them are really dynamic. Some are really fun. Yeah. Good moves, good strategy, good gameplay, good some of that. And there's some then the returning player seasons. Like I said, I would watch if they never did another new player season ever again. And they just took random players and put them on a season together and watch that dynamic. And then it's Christian and Chicken Morris and Lil Morris, Wendy Joe and Wendy Diaz all in the same tribe. That would be freaking ridiculous. Yeah. There'd be and Zayn Knight all in the same tribe. Oh my gosh, right? That'd be insane. They'd be crazies with geniuses with real weirdos. I mean, it'd be incredible. And then somebody plays 10 times and they finally win. Whatever. But it's just I'd be cool seeing all kinds of different dynamics of different kinds of people who played different eras of the show and kind of see how it all turned out and who would win. I bet you the newer players would win most often. But I'm always okay with seeing that as long as it's good, entertaining, fun players.
Good, clean, family fun.
No. But entertainment and that stuff as well. So it's hard to say what's better. What season? It's hard to compare for me a new player season against an all returning season. I definitely don't want any more of the captain seasons are terrible.
I don't want mixed returning and new. I hate that.
At the very least, you've got. I mean, I've said before, I would be cool with another fans or favorites, but actual fans who aren't afraid to play the favorites. Returning players who are good, like Christian and Devins against super fans of Christian and Devins.
They're not going to want to vote them off.
But then they're not. I mean, they're not there to play the game. Then people who are actually there to play the game, right? No. Or like I said before, a tribe of super fans, returning players, and celebrities.
I have a problem with the term super fans because everyone that goes on the show says how much they're a super fan. Everybody. I remember the guy, was Jacob? He was a super fan. Yeah, he went out first.
Second, yeah.
Second? Was it second?
Yeah.
Just everybody that declares himself a super fan, everybody's a super fan.
Yeah, and the super fan with the social game is needed. You need a super fan who knows the game really well, but also is not a nerd robot,
Yeah.
Like Jacob was. Mm-hmm. But yeah, I mean, I would like to see, or just casual fans versus super fans versus celebrities, or something just weird. You have and trust me, they wouldn't get A-list celebrities; they get D-list celebrities.
Obviously,
so it'd be
Kathy Griffin.
Yeah, exactly. It's the players who won Celebrity Mole and Celebrity Apprentice against.
That's fine.
Against
Steve Baldwin signed me up.
He didn't win.
I don't care. He was on the mole. Yeah. Sign me up.
Yeah. So just some of that. That way too. It's it's like the big fans and the returning players. They can keep going for the celebrities, or celebrities can go with the fans and take out. It'd be kind of an interesting dynamic. It'd be kind of fun to see. But I'm always interested to see that kind of stuff and see where that dynamic goes. As far as returning player seasons, there's only been a few all returning player seasons. Sarah's winning season wasn't amazing. It was okay. It was probably one of the worst. All Stars was very slow, but it was fun. And then you had the all returning player season of 31, which was Jeremy's season that he won. That is still maybe the best season of all time, one of the best for sure. And then you had a lot of mixed seasons. You had Blood vs. Water. You had the Fans vs. Favorites seasons, which were all interesting as well. I'd still say one of my favorite seasons, top 3. It's not popular probably, but top 3 is Blood vs. Water. I love Blood vs. Water. I loved all the players, and that was Natalie's second season. Natalie's season was the second Blood vs. Water. The original Blood vs. Water was Tyson's season that he won. And that was when he went out his wife early. He had to fight to stay in the game and all that stuff. And the girl about our mom, and it was a whole big thing. So they went to Rocks. It had pretty much everything you wanted. It had drama, it had suspense, it had good gameplay, it had good challenges. It was really everything you wanted to see. That was one of my favorite seasons for sure. Jeremy's season, Cambodia, Second Chances, was one of the best seasons ever, just because the idea was everybody was voted by the fans. Everybody played once and didn't win. There was no the reason Sarah's season wasn't as good as Jeremy's season was because there was major legends, fan favorites, and legends. There were players who won, and the other players that you knew they were on the season before.
I don't like mixed seasons.
They were all players who played before.
No.
But they were just winners, legends, and then players who had played before, but
So that was her second season she won.
Yeah. And it was Sierra Dawn Thomas, Joe's wife,
right? And
Brad Culpepper, and Troy Zan. People who are
the Tampa attorney.
Yeah, the Tampa attorney, former football player.
He played twice.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Yeah, his second season was Sarah's second season, and she beat him in the finals. But so like that was a good season, but people were all different. They had. It's how can you expect a winner or a legend to go against 10 players who are not winners legends? It's deck stacked against them. That's why Jeremy's season was so great, because they all were one-time players who didn't win, and they're all voted by the fans. There wasn't any major fan favorites against people who nobody liked, because the fans all voted for them.
Right.
So that was why it was a really, really great season. This one had just about everything. The only thing we really didn't have was Hatch. Should have had Hatch. Gotta have Richard Hatch. It's freaking the winners. You have to have Richard Hatch.
What? Oh, person?
Richard Hatch.
Okay.
If you didn't have Richard Hatch,
I don't know who that is.
The first ever winner.
He's not gonna play? That was 40 years ago.
20 years ago, yeah.
Same thing.
He wants to play again.
Apparently he wasn't that great of a winner.
He is the father of Survivor Strategy.
Sorry, Gilly.
He should have been on the season. But either way, so that's all. We went on this section already, but I think there was some really great stuff on the season. Greatest season ever. It's hard to say. I'd have to. Again, a lot of the seasons I've rewatched, so it's you'd say watching it the second time, watching it the third time. How do you feel about it now? How's it aged? One thing you'll say, some seasons the winner is okay. I think Adam Klein in 33 made a really good season. Nick made 37 really good. I think 38 would have been better if the winner was better. 39 would have been better if the winner was better. 40 had a really, really good winner. So it was a good season with a really good winner. That's a lot of times it's a caveat, right? The season's really good, the winner sucked. No offense, 32 was a pretty good season overall, but Michelle won. And Michelle's fine, but it wasn't it wasn't the most deserving winner to win the game. So
like Chris,
exactly. What about a better season if the right winner won?
Tommy,
exactly.
Should I keep going?
No,
okay.
But that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When the right winner wins the season, it validates the season a little better. In this case, it was validated. this will probably go down as a top, definitely a top 10, maybe a top 5 season of all time. It had a lot. It had a lot there. There's a couple things that really hurt it, which I'll talk about in a minute here. But I think the winner was good. It was entertaining. It was good strategy, good gameplay for the most part. Nobody who really sucked it up out there and did terrible and cost themselves the game, with a couple minor exceptions. But overall, it was a really, really great season. And I said, if you look at it's definitely top 3 returning player season of all time, no doubt. And then probably top 2 returning player season of all time. And then, obviously returning player seasons are kind of different, but than new player seasons. But that's where I'm at on that.
Yeah.
What's the next thing we want to talk about here?
What we learned.
No.
Discussion.
The finale. Yeah. So what happened in the finale?
Oh, finale. I thought we were talking about that already.
We kind of are. Well, let's just kind of put a bow on the finale, how it all went down. So
Ben told Sarah to vote him out.
So
he could go after Tony.
The first vote was when everybody played their idols. Yeah. So all the votes got canceled out. So it was only votes that people were eligible were Sarah and Denise.
Technically first, Natalie got back in the game, but we already said that.
True, yes.
Natalie got back in the game. She had 3 advantages. She got to skip the first part, go through the ropes. She just had to untie herself from the post. It took her forever, and I thought she was going to lose because of it. Yeah. She had half or 3/4 or a third of her bridge already made, and she had to make the rest. And then she had to go back and put one back up there, but she still ended up winning. And
I wonder how that was edited.
Yeah, I know. If it was that close, or if it was it's probably just a dramatic effect.
I mean, 3 advantages. She definitely seemed like she was struggling a little bit, and people may have been ahead of her.
Nervous, yeah.
And people may have been ahead of her, but I just wonder. I feel like she did way better on the challenge than they showed.
Could be.
No. Yeah. Either way, okay. So she gets back in, and then she has an idol she plays. Ben plays his idol. Tony plays his idol, and Michelle won immunity.
Yeah.
She won her second immunity. Yeah. So the ones eligible voted for were Denise and Sarah. They throw all the votes in Denise. Denise is gone. The next is Natalie finds another idol, and they say, okay, if you have to vote, and Ben says, hey, if you have to vote me out to make a move on your resume, then do it. And he does. She does. What's up, Ben?
He gave her permission. He's like, I give you permission to vote me out. He's like, go get Tony. He's like, if I'm going to go out, I want you to be the one to do it, so you can win.
You can get a resume piece for you and win. And and it was one of those things where he probably knew didn't have much of a shot anyways at that point. He knew he was going to win the game at the end, and
but
he figured
knew Sarah was so loyal that she wouldn't have done it without him telling her to.
And so he released her from it. It was very much an Ian and Tom situation from season 10 when Ian's like, I'll drop out of this challenge after 11 hours battling you in the challenge if you vote me out so I keep your friendship. And it was kind of what happened here. It was a little bit more nuanced than that, I think.
Yeah.
But the same idea, and Ian's one of the only players ever for that move. But Ben's move was not a good strategic move in the game.
Huh?
Ben's move was definitely not a good strategic move in the game.
For him?
For him.
He told her to vote him out. How it wouldn't be a good strategic move.
No
in
kidding.
The game.
That's what I'm saying.
It still brought me to tears, though.
Yeah,
it was a good moment.
It was a very nice moment, for sure. I liked it a lot. It was great. Ben.
Yep, that's all I got to say.
No, I'm saying I'm agreeing with. That's what I'm saying. Obviously, it wasn't a good strategic move. If you're trying to win the game, you don't do that.
He knew he wasn't gonna win.
Right, but
at some point, you don't have the chance to win.
Yeah. So, it's like people say Sandra's a quitter. Sandra's a quitter. She's gonna vote out the game, then try to come back in the game.
She wasn't going to. She didn't have to. She already want to.
And so you're saying they're saying Ben's not a quitter because Ben let somebody vote him out. Like it's the same thing.
Yeah.
It's basically the same thing. So I don't want to hear that. Sandra's still the queen. Will always be the queen. So shut you freaking Facebook trolls. On the Survivor Facebook page.
She didn't need to prove anything. She already wanted to.
Yeah, she already wanted to. So screw you guys. But yeah, so obviously that was a great strategic move for Ben. Obviously getting himself voted out, but it was certainly.
No, it was to help her for her resume.
Yeah, and it was certainly one of the. I mean, the finale was full of emotion. And it was one of the most emotional moments in a long time. It was very, very entertaining, very good, personal moment, heartfelt moment.
Well, even with the game when everybody was trying to get back in, Rob and Amber and them, it had me in tears too.
Oh yeah,
just all the discussions that everybody was talking about. It's like ugh.
Yeah, oh yeah, oh for sure, absolutely. So then Sarah does put up Ben and they blindside Tony in that moment. So they got a final four, and Natalie wins the immunity. Final four. Obviously, she had an adult, and one immunity, so she wasn't eligible to vote out the entire time. So when she got back in, she gets in.
Almost a perfect game.
Almost, as Rob said, almost perfect game. Coming back in.
Yep.
She found a bunch of advantages. She had 14, fire tokens on the edge, and she did great.
Yeah, she killed it
For sure. Had bought all 3 advantages in the challenge, bought another for herself to get back in the game, and bought one for somebody else to have. It was really awesome. So then she wins the immunity, picks Michelle to go with her to the end. Obviously, easy decision.
Yeah.
And then she puts Tony against Sarah in the fire, and they were, it was very tough. Sarah, Lucina, she said, and she had a very, very good point.
Yeah.
Tell me about that.
She said that when a guy is backstabs someone or, acts nasty about whatever, it's fine. It's okay. Yeah, he's a stud. But if a girl tries to make a move or is nasty to somebody or blindsides people, then they're a bitch. So it's okay for a guy, not for a woman. And then she told Josh that you can call me Listina. Because he does, and he admitted that he does treat guys and women different on the show.
Oh, for sure.
He doesn't call women by their last name, he calls them by their first names. Which to me, it's kind of like, I don't want people to call me by my last name, but it's just all preference.
Yeah, it is.
But, yeah, so she had that great moment. She, it kind of impressed everybody, and everybody on the jury loved it, and then ends up not going through. Yeah.
She was the fireman challenge. She actually had to lead over Tony for a while.
She was doing so well, but anybody that builds fires know you can't keep using the brush because it's going to burn out so quick, and you have to put more. You have to start putting sticks on it as soon as she had it. It was roaring. Put some twigs on there, would have been done.
Yeah, that just didn't happen that way. And Tony ended up winning the fire challenge, gets the final 3, and that was pretty much a wrap from that point.
He didn't do too well though in his interview at the end or whatever. The
jury.
The grilling from the jury.
He never does. He didn't his first season either.
Yeah, I wasn't enjoying some of his answers and some of his talk. It was just kind of like.
He's not great from the jury. He never was. It wasn't his last season either, but his last season he was against a guy who was freaking terrible. So he won easily. In this season, he was against Michelle. Again, Michelle was going to win, and then it was against Natalie, and Natalie played him really, really well. But his options were someone who was drawing dead, and somebody who played before the finale played 2 days of Survivor.
Had a unique, what did they say? A unique journey to the end.
A very unique journey, and Rob voted for Tony to win. He says, "I told you when you come back in the game, you have to play a perfect game. Only thing you did wrong was not take out Tony."
Yeah.
And if she takes out Tony, she probably could beat Sarah too, which would have been ridiculous.
I think she would have.
I do too. So I'm actually kind of glad that didn't happen, just because.
I'm not. I would have loved Natalie to win because she still worked her ass off. She worked so hard on the edge. She still messed with the game from the edge by sending over different things.
Absolutely.
She still had a play in the game. I think it would have been great if she won. The only caveat is then it's just like Chris Underwood, and everybody hated that. So.
Yeah, it's true.
I don't know.
So
I like Natalie
I do too. Oh, she's phenomenal. She's absolutely. I did a couple years ago. I did a ranking of the tiers of Survivor, of Survivor winners. I had Michelle at 2, and Natalie at 4, of the 5 tiers. 1 is like somebody who won this fight themselves. 2 is somebody who had agency in the game, but had to have a lot of things go their way too. So they controlled their own destiny, but only their own destiny.
Yeah.
3 is somebody who controlled a big portion of the game and won because of it. 4 is somebody who basically dominated from beginning to end, but had a lot of things that they couldn't duplicate. And 5 is somebody who transcended the game and taught us how to play the game. Right? Like somebody who, like Richard Hatch, who here's how you play the game. You form alliances. You build bonds. You make strategic decisions. You take your emotion out of it. That kind of stuff. And that's so that kind of winner compared to like a Fabio winner who got to the end because he just showed he just was less hated than everybody else and won a couple challenges, and that was it. Like he didn't even know what game he was playing.
Did he have long hair and ride a white horse?
He had long hair. He didn't ride any horses.
So he was trying to copy the other Fabio.
They nicknamed him that, yeah. Judd Burza.
Interesting.
Winner of season 21. Good thing he wasn't back on the season. I would not have watched. He sucked.
You would have watched. You just bitched the whole time.
Yeah, I would have. You're right. So that's neither here nor there, I guess. But that's how it happened. That's how it went down. It would have been interesting. Natalie wasn't even in the game, but she definitely impacted it.
Mm-hmm.
The fire tokens was an interesting twist, and I think there's some cool things that they did with that. Tony once he got the final three, I feel like it was all the way up to for him. He won. I think he got 19 votes. I think he got 15 of them.
Yeah, I got 4. Yeah.
So 15, 4 to 0.
Mm-hmm.
And it, obviously the biggest jury of all time by a lot.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, except for, I guess, the season before when they had 17. Or 2 seasons ago before they had 17. Or 15. There's a jury. Either way. So Tony obviously winning.
Mm-hmm.
Big win for him. Congratulations on that.
Mm-hmm.
Let's go ahead and talk about then what we learned. Right? Yeah, sure. What did you learn from the season this time? What did we learn from watching this season?
Always look up in the trees.
Very true.
Look underneath things for people before you talk. Just start looking around before you want to talk strategy.
Yeah.
That would be my takeaway.
For sure. That's a good one.
I mean, really, though, like I said when we watched it, when you know someone has a history of hiding and spying on people, you might want to look around a little bit before you start talking strategy and start talking about that person. But, I don't know. Fire tokens are cool. Learn that.
Yeah, I mean, there's some interesting things that they did. I mean, something I didn't like, but I learned that I really, really hate the fire twist. Like, a lot.
You did not learn that this year, though.
I know, but since just so you know, since they put in a woman's not one. It's and Edge of Extinction also favors men. Mm-hmm. That being said, a woman did come back, and she did really, really great.
So you say that a woman isn't one since the fire challenge has been in effect.
Correct.
To that I say, women should start practicing, and if you want to win it, practice how to make fire then. Because if you know you're going to be in that position at some point, why would you leave it up to chance?
True.
Anybody can do it. I can make a fire.
So
Any woman can do it.
Let me put it this way.
Mm-hmm.
If you are a guy and you're always making fire to make fire, they're like, oh, you're the fire tender. You're awesome. If a girl's doing it, they say, why are you making fire? Is she practicing for the end?
I mean, I would practice it before I even go.
Yeah, okay. Then you don't do it out there. Its conditions are different. I mean...
Slightly different, but you could practice it on your own. You don't have to show people that you're doing it.
Yeah, I guess. It's one of those things where, like, when the men were finding all the idols, well, they hit idols were places where men would go look. Women were tending to the camp, men were looking for idols. The men were finding idols and using them and winning the game.
Yeah.
That's how it was for a long time.
But it's not like that anymore. And why would a guy say anything about a woman tending to a fire? Why are you tending to the fire? Because I like to make fires when I'm home, so why wouldn't I do it here? It's the same thing.
Yeah.
Am I taking your masculinity just because I want to make a fire?
It could.
I don't care.
I know, but then that's how you get voted out. Because you're
You get voted out because you want to build a fire. That's such bullshit.
It could happen. It's one of those things where if people are all of a sudden practicing fire all the time, not practicing fire, now that's another threat that you become. You're a fire threat at the end of the game. So now you vote out for that.
It's crap.
I agree. I think final two is the best because the person who wins immunity decides who they go down with. They said we don't like that person having that much power, so we're gonna have a final three, so that way there's not just one vote being cast. As more dynamic. Okay. So then they said, but now the person in the final three, person can vote out fourth, is the person with the best shot to win. So you can vote out fourth, and there are three people at the end who aren't as good. Okay. So they have a final four fire making challenge.
Mm-hmm.
So you're taking the ability to vote somebody out of the game out of it. Somebody you can't get out of final four, you can't vote the person out. No matter who, they could be, the best biggest threat, and you could strategically try to get rid of them, but now you have to get rid of them at 5, and it pushes everything back.
Yeah.
And it just keeps pushing the goalposts further back. I don't like it. Education was fine. They had this time they did have a man and a woman come back, so like that. I like that a little bit better in this case because instead of like first of the season, they voted out 2 extra guys than they would have had to.
Yeah.
If they didn't have edge of extinction, Devins is gone, and Chris is gone. So the final 4 is Lauren, Victoria, Gavin, and Julie. That's the final 4. Maybe not the greatest final 4 ever, but at least we have a better winner, or a winner who would play the game the whole time. And
but Devins basically played the game the whole time. He wasn't gone that long.
He was gone for 2 votes, fine, but that still happens to a lot of people. Even like look at seasons earlier. There were a lot of great characters that voted out right at the merge, and you never saw them again. That would have been Devins.
Yeah, with this season, with the Edge, it was equal. Everybody had an equal opportunity to get fire tokens to make it back in. It didn't favor anybody.
Agreed.
You can try and win fire tokens to win advantages in the way back in. So it was a little bit more equal. Everybody had a chance.
They did it way better this time.
Mm-hmm.
The only thing I would have liked to have seen happen is, you know what I'm saying about that, right? On the Edge.
Not sure.
Ended at the merge.
Yeah.
See, everybody.
That or just a little bit earlier.
Right. Well, for sure. Yeah, don't bring back the. It's just they do it for dramatic sake.
I know, but I can't stand that.
I don't like it either. Do it. Bring back a final 8, and then that's it. Or, and give them an idol. You know, like let's like they're at least making the final 7.
Right.
Okay, great, fine. Or everybody who's out pre-merge is done at the merge.
And not on the jury.
Then they're on the jury, and then anybody who makes the merge, they can win. One of them can win their way back in at that point. 2 seasons in a row now. Like both times they did it, the person who came back to the finale was out pre-merge, and then they had people who the first boot or second boot was on the jury deciding who wins the game, even though they didn't meet half the cast. I think it's bad. I don't like that. I don't like Fire Twist. I don't like Edge of Extinction. Edge of Extinction was better this time. Fire Twist still sucks, and it's always gonna suck. But like I said, I like this strategic part of the game. Why take away people's? I mean, the only thing you can really control in Survivor is voting.
Mm-hmm.
And if you lose that ability at a critical spot in the game to vote somebody out, I mean, it's just I think the current model favors challenges and survival skills more than it should.
Yeah, I mean, if Fire Challenge wasn't there this season, Tony would have been voted out by them.
Absolutely.
So yeah, I get it.
So and it's just like having that thing there. I mean, now you're valuing survival skills and challenge strength, and that is fine. But that's only one part of the game. Why don't they have at the final at the Edge of Extinction? Why don't they have a vote? Vote something back in. So you have to have a social game, or have some sort of strategic challenge. That we have to there's some sort of strategic thing to get somebody back to the game. Why is there always physical challenges?
Yeah.
Like somebody who's a really smart strategic player. If they're not good at challenges, they vote it out. Let's say they had a Christian season. Think Christian would have won them back in? Absolutely not. Right? It would have been something like a John or a Dan or one of the big challenge dudes.
Yeah.
Who would you rather see back come back in the game, Christian or Dan?
Christian.
100%. But it focuses on the challenge. So it's a double-edged sword. You get people who you wouldn't normally get to keep in the game and keep them in the show and they always have a shot to get back in. But if it's all challenges, the person who's gonna win their way back in probably isn't somebody wants to see anyways. So it's a very interesting dichotomy. I think it's stuff that we should look at. The biggest thing we learned, I think, on this season, the fire token thing was really neat. It's an interesting dynamic. I'd like to see how them do that. 2 things we learned. 1, women's alliances work. Keep doing it. If women could simply stick together, like dudes do, they would win a lot more.
Yeah, women suck, so they don't get along
They're
with
catty.
each other.
If women would not fight in society and in Survivor, there would be a lot more successful with women. I mean, what was it? The Chris Rock thing? Dave Chappelle and Chris Rock with the election. If 51% of the country were women, they should have like 12 women presidents by now.
Oh.
If 51% of the country were African American, Flavor Flav would be president. You know what I mean?
Yeah, boy.
Exactly, right? That was the SNL skit, right?
Yeah.
It was so funny, but it's true, right? If women would simply stick together, they would. I mean, like, how come the first boot almost every season is a woman? Almost, I mean, maybe an older woman or whatever, somebody who's holding them back in the challenges. Who cares? I don't care who loses every challenge. I mean, ideally, yes, you want to keep challenge strength early, fine. But how come it's always the older woman who's put on early? If they would, or I mean, you're automatically down the numbers.
That's usually up to the guys to do that. So.
But why? Why can't the women say right?
Because guys don't like women.
So which is completely ridiculous, but let's say it's usually the women who, like Chrissy and Katrina. They could have stuck together and ran that game in Ben's season, but Chrissy brought Katrina episode 1. Why? Why? I mean, like I said, why not? And Chrissy's option were, let's go after Ashley or let's go after Katrina. No, screw it. Let's go after JP or Alan or Ben. Why do we have to go about a woman early? Stick together. If they would stick together, the guys with egos would turn on each other. It's Survivor comes down to women's cattiness versus guys' egos. The big dudes are gonna want to take each other out because they want to be the alpha male. Cool. You can be the alpha male with 8 other women and then go to the final 9 and lose. And there's 8 women's finals.
Women have big egos too.
Not
really cattiness. It's women want to rule as well.
It's true. I just think if they could, look at the season that everyone won by women. So many of them have all women's finals or women alliances that dominate the game. Poverty season, Kim season.
They have to like each other. Women don't like each other anymore.
It's true. So if you can past that for $1 million, you can win $1 million. Okay. So now we see why I always said Survivor isn't that much of a microcosm of society, but I think in that case it is. I think women could get along a little better. They'd all be better off.
Agreed.
Better, easier said than done, though.
Oh, of course.
Yeah. So, and that's one. And then 2, threats need to stick together. It's A, a better season when they do.
Yeah.
And B,
then taking everybody out one by one.
Right. So, what did we, so.
Like 39?
39, yeah. Right. I mean, say Elizabeth and Missy and Kelly and Aaron and Lauren stuck together.
Mm-hmm.
What of those 5 together? The 5 probably biggest stuff in the game stuck together.
Yeah, they would have been fine.
They would have dominated.
But instead, Lauren was with Tommy and didn't think that Tommy would ever get rid of her.
And he didn't.
Crap.
But for Final Four, if Tommy was with them and they got rid of Nora, they got rid of Dean, and it was like 4 other girls, they put Tommy in fire making against somebody else.
Well, their first mistake was keeping Nora way longer than they needed to.
For sure.
Because she's out of her damn mind.
Right, and that's true. So that's why threats need to stick together.
Yeah.
Threats need to stick together because, I mean, Sarah was a threat, Tony was a threat, Jeremy was a threat, Denise became a threat. If Tony said, the Lions need to stick together to fight the Hyenas. The Hyenas will want to pick off. If there's only a couple Lions left, the Hyenas will swarm and take them out.
And Tony kept Jeremy in for a pretty long time. So.
Way longer than he should have, really. But it worked out for him.
Still worked out, yeah.
It worked out for him.
Mm-hmm.
So 2 things we need to learn. Women need to stick together, and threats need to stick together.
Mm-hmm.
If the threats stick together, they'll go way deep in the game. As soon as you're taking out threats, it's not open season on the threats. Right? It's like, like the returning player season with Joe and Aubrey, right? And then took out Aubrey pretty early. And David and Kelly were fighting the whole time, but they didn't take each other out.
Mm-hmm.
Well, they stuck together and got both themselves further again. Neither one of them won, but had David or Kelly voted each other out the second tribal council, they would have been gone the third tribal council.
Mm-hmm.
Because as soon as you make it okay to start voting out a threat, now all the threats are going to go. Because, you just made that a thing. You should put that out there. What's so funny?
I just had something come to mind, but I don't know if I can make it work to relate.
Sure.
I said about
open season?
Yeah, open season. I'm just thinking about during the rut during deer season.
Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Cool.
Yeah. It's funny to me, right. But anywho.
Anyways, so I think that's what we learned though. It's the like-minded people need to stick together.
Mm-hmm.
Not that you want to isolate other people, but people who if you have, hey, I can work with this kind of person. so I'm gonna keep them with me as long as I can. I can work with this kind of person. Like, you've got to gather your troops and build as big of an army as you can, and then keep that army as far as long as you can.
When you don't like someone, learn how to be fake and just pretend to their face.
Absolutely. The answer is always
it's like
yes.
being an adult.
Absolutely.
It's like daily life.
For sure. So it's something that you gotta just grab it and go. You can't let these little things slow you down. You gotta unite. As your threats need to unite after each other. I mean, why did Sarah and Tony lose? Sandra and Tony lose in Sarah's season because they were aligned for about a vote, and then they said, "Well, we have to target each other." So they targeted each other. And then Sandra's game became, "Let me take out all the other winners, not let me win the game. It's let me stay in the game and take out all the other winners," which she did, and then went out as soon as the last one went out. It's if you're a threat, you need to stick together with the threats, and that's what we learned from this game for sure. No doubt about it. Don't vote out a threat until if you're a threat and you go to the end and lose to another threat, well then it is what it is.
No diggity, no doubt.
Exactly. Exactly. Couldn't say it myself. So let's go ahead and talk about what's next. Obviously, Survivor season 41 is postponed. They're not able to film it with everything going on in the world right now.
Yes.
Hopefully that changes the next few months so we can get it filmed and then they can start editing and get it going. And at least so there's a season for 2021. Maybe the first time there'd be only one season in a year, but at least they get that out. Amazing Race is a little bit on hiatus as well, so we're waiting to see what's going to happen with that. Walking Dead finale on hiatus. Masked Singer finale, we're going to record that probably tomorrow or the next day. Have that out ready for you guys very, very soon. We just have to finish watching it, so see how it went. We're also going to have, we're going to figure out how we're going to do it, I think, but we're usually having live reactions to each unmasking. So we're going to have to do some segments in there and work it out. But I think that's going to be really, really fun. Excited to see how that goes. And obviously, make sure you subscribe so you get the updates. Jessica, people find you on Twitter.
Just T Twitter.
And if you find me on Twitter, you'll grab a Gabba, subscribe so you get the updates. Like us on Facebook, facebook.com/paperproductions. Email showpaperproductions@gmail.com so you get all the give us your thoughts, your feedback, and all that. Congratulations to be back on another win. Your money's in the mail. Like they said about the stimulus checks. And other than that, I think we'll maybe do some recording at some point over the summer. We have not really much to talk about. I mean, when Amazing Race comes back, we'll go on and talk about that. When Survivor's there, we'll talk about that. When Masked Singer comes back, we'll do that as well. Maybe at some point, depending on how things go, when it falls, maybe we'll do the actual Walking Dead finale. Maybe we'll come on and talk about it for a minute. Who knows? It's the episode hasn't aired yet either, so maybe we'll just. When that comes out, we'll talk about that. I don't know.
Summer's wide open because there's not going to be any events, basically. So
yeah, so we'll have plenty to do. There's not any sports around either, so
yeah. Well, lots of stuff for you to do around the house. The honey-do list coming up.
Exactly.
I'll take videos of him doing work and just post them.
It'll be quite hilarious.
Probably would
It'll be the funniest thing you'll see all day.
Probably would be.
Cool. Well, thank you for another great season. Appreciate it. Thank you for all the interaction, all the fun. We'll decide for 41. We'll when it gets closer, we'll start talking about it, and maybe I'll have a couple off-season stuff as well. I always try to do an off-season show or two, and sometimes I get to a couple things, sometimes I just don't because of timing and whatnot. But I think Jeff's gonna have some things maybe we're thinking about doing, and maybe we'll actually bring them out and try them on this summer if we have a little bit of time. So, anything else?
Sure. What are you talking about? No, I think we're good.
Cool. Thank you for another great season. 40 was awesome. Hopefully we have some more great seasons coming up in the near future. But for right now, for the final time, season 40, I got nothing else for you. So try and pass it.